Go ahead now.
Mr. Cunningham, what I have from you was from April, and it appeared to be an attempt to write a subpoena. And
Yes, madam.
I'm sorry?
I say yes.
Okay.
Subpoena.
I'm not going to sign that subpoena. First of all, it's not in the right format. And second of all, it's directed to people who are not subject to subpoena, court officers.
All right. Well, excuse me. That's only one of them. If I might, excuse me, quote unquote, put my words on top of your words. One of them, that's only one of them. The second one is actually showing, which has wrote the subpoena for, stating when I had got identification within the jurisdiction.
Excuse me, sir, but what in the doohickey are you talking about? And is it just me, or does this sovereign citizen sound a bit tipsy?
Now, to the jurisdiction that I came from before I came here is not the same, madam. Sorry. At the same point in time, I have not got no correspondence with the subpoenas that I have put out, what I have put in the workers myself, and also its contract to solidify these subpoenas to the necessary people that it's supposed to go to. Now, from there, I'm talking to you, which basically pre-trial, which is at this point in time, if you want to make a decision with or with not, I'm putting it out hopefully to the end of July, if possible, somewhere around 23, 25 days of the month of Roman calendar date 2022 July.
I have absolutely no clue what this man is talking about. I think he's trying to decide when his next court date is going to be, as if the judge isn't the person that determines that. I think that's what he's getting at.
July. So from there, from basically the subpoena that basically I'm trying to get to, which is supposed to be on the witness list, which is on the also, excuse me, I might be slurring my speech a little bit. Simple fact of the matter is I might be a little intimidated by basically who you may have associated with quote unquote RICO Act, which is used well, which has to do with housing and throughout this jurisdiction of the Washtenaw County. Now, excuse me, Bradley versus United States, which basically comes to the identification of what's jurisdictional act, what has to go by every constitutional state, basically including the United States, 10 mile additional, 10 mile additional law. I had a basic contract with a passport. Let's say from there. Now, what they sent me is basically within we can say go back to A1. Now, if we go back to A1, as far as the motion and also the other motion that I put forth before me talking to you. Now, A1, as far as in the as far as the evidence, name and address, not correct. Now, the name and address is not correct, which basically, to me, has not been in any type of reference to why this is not correct.
Excuse me, sir, but no one here knows what the hell you are talking about. You are talking a bunch of nonsense.
Now, the witness states Ryan Kavanaugh. Now, Ryan Kavanaugh is not on the witness list, is which basically I've been asking, and which basically, as far as the transcripts and the videotapes, you have not presented, or excuse me, the excuse me, I just had a little hiccup because now so they have not supplied you with the transcripts or the videotapes. It's supplied basically that some of this documentation that they sent me is not agreeing to what they had already acquilated. Now they tried to, excuse me, and move the primary witness. Now, with my primary witness, what I just stated is Ryan Kavanaugh. That's not on the witness list.
Okay, so Mr. Cunningham, I'm gonna stop you, Mr. Cunningham.
Yes, ma'am.
If there is a motion,
yes, ma'am.
Excuse me?
I'm asking to supply this information or did this case. Simple.
If you're going to
They
make
have not.
Cunningham, it needs to be in writing. And the
It's
only
already in writing, ma'am. Whether the excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but whether Lou Sedan have justified and read through the motions and documents that's submitted, that's not on me, ma'am. I'm asking at this point in time, you subtract or dab it this case, or we go from there, which basically right now is only a motion, which basically, excuse me, it will be under the RICO Act. Simple fact is you and him have ties to, such as the Housing Association. I'm just making a statement here. Simple fact of the matter is Housing Association, Washington Association of a degree of basically to supply law or put knowledge of law to. Excuse me, it's kind of a little bit Greek, probably a little had some of the people, but basically I'm asking for this case to be dismissed, man. That's simple, cut, dry to what it is. Anything over there, I'm listening and understanding. Excuse me.
This dude literally just talked for about 7 minutes and said absolutely nothing for the end result for him to request that the case just be dismissed. Like, in what world do you think a court works like that, where you can just walk into court, spout a bunch of nothing, and then your last statement be, well, I'm asking for this case to be dismissed? Never gonna happen, Bob. This guy right here, this is the first time I literally did not understand 0% of what a sovereign citizen said.
Understanding, excuse me. Can I rebuke that, madam?
Sorry, what'd you just say, Mr. Cunningham?
Can I rebuke that?
Uh-oh. He just put on his sunglasses. So that means he's about to turn things up a notch.
First of all,
Mr. Cunningham, I'm going to stop you.
Yes, ma'am.
I've read the motion. In fact, I've read it a couple of times and listened to what you have said here today. And I agree with Mr. Banner that there is no support for what you're requesting, and both motions are denied. The oral motion to dismiss that you made today.
How you gonna deny?
For a subpoena ducis tecum. They're both denied.
Excuse me. How you gonna deny a fact that basically is not solidified? They don't have the Ryan Kavanaugh on the basically what they sent to me is Ryan Kavanaugh, but now they don't have Ryan Kavanaugh on their witness list. Now, why don't have Ryan Kavanaugh on my witness list is one thing. Now, two, here it is. I'm not supposed to be on U of M property is quote unquote his quote unquote investigator who basically investigate quote unquote, excuse me, shit. Simple fact of the matter is I'm not supposed to be on U of M property. Now, if I'm not supposed to be on U of M property, that means here it is. They have to get some type of subpoena or something to bring me in to solidify that basically I know what's going on at that point in time. Now, here it is. I'm in U of M.
Mr. Cunningham, I'm going to mute you now so that I can speak,
Here it
sir.
is. Don't run my territory.
All right. Mr. Cunningham, you have a pretrial scheduled next Tuesday at 1:30, and that's on this same Zoom. We'll see you then, sir. We can call the next case.